Okay, so this is definitely one of the coolest things I've ever built from scratch. This right here is my replica of the Western Wall in Jerusalem. I made it with my FlashForge Adventure 5 3D printer, some woodworking. I used a lot of hot glue, 3D printed blocks of different colors and filaments, and then I even held each one of these blocks over a candle in order to melt it so it looks more like an old block rather than something 3D printed. Of course, the finishing touch is the Israeli flag on the top. And we have this little lip right here so we could put cards on it. I made this for my wedding, believe it or not, so I could use it as a guest book. You know when people like write down their thoughts for the bride and groom and they put it in like a book, or you take like a Polaroid picture or something? This was my idea for that, to be a little more creative. And because my wife and I are both very proud Jews, and it was during the time of post-October 7th where it was really important to show your Jewish pride and show your support for Israel. So yeah, these are all 3D printed blocks. I got this mossy stuff in order to replicate plants that grow out of the Western Wall in Jerusalem today. And if you notice as well, I left some random cracks in the wall here. Common custom in Jerusalem, in the real Kotel, in the real Western Wall, is to put notes, which are supposed to be like your messages to God, asking for things and for prayers and stuff like that. My thought was, as the guest book, I put little pieces of paper with our names branded on them on the porch right here. People would write down what they want, fold up the note, and then put it into one of these little holes, just like you would in the real Western Wall, or Kotel, as they call it in Hebrew. So I didn't want to turn this thing around the entire way, so I'm just going to put the camera behind and show you what it looks like from the back. This was my first time using acrylic, and as you can see, I had a pretty tough time of cutting it. I didn't have a table saw yet, and so I actually cut this, I believe, with a jigsaw, if I'm remembering correctly. And then because the edges were so cracked and messed up, I ended up melting that part of the acrylic on the bottom, which is why you see some of the burn marks and other messed up things on here, but it served its purpose. The whole point was so that when you put a note into one of the slits, the note would fall into the back of the box here, which is made out of wood, and then you'd be able to see all the notes that came falling in with these acrylic windows. So if you see that little line here, that's one of the cracks that I left on purpose for people to slip notes into. And when the note fell, it would land right here and you'd be able to see it behind the acrylic. When the wedding was over, we took all the notes out and put them into a scrapbook, and then I screwed the acrylic back on. That's why there's nothing in there right now. So yeah, that's the Kotel, the Western Wall, that I built for my wedding day, and we ended up using as our very unique guest book. So yeah, like I said, this was a really intricate project. I really wish I had more video of me building it, but it speaks for itself in how complex this was. I mean, I printed probably hundreds of blocks. I arranged them in certain patterns to make it look like more randomized and to make the colors look a little more randomized as well, so that there weren't like the same type of blocks right next to each other. It just looked less, it looks more realistic when it looks more random. I literally held each piece over a candle so that I could melt it to make it look more like ancient stone, and rather than just perfect right-angled corners on a 3D printed block. I also designed the 3D block in Autodesk 360. I'm going to be posting more videos of things that I built in the past as well, just like this, because I don't necessarily have the footage for them, but I did some really cool projects in the past that I kind of want to show off. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. See you guys in the next one.